Hello, this is Dr. Kraus with another quick Raspberry Pi configuration video. As I mentioned in my previous videos, my primary goal when I configure a Raspberry Pi initially is to get to a place where I can plug it in without a monitor or keyboard attached and have it automatically connect to my home Wi-Fi network and automatically start VNC so I can use it remotely. This is sometimes referred to as a headless configuration because there's no monitor attached, and the monitor would kind of be the head of the computer, whatever. When I first switched over to Raspberry Pi 3 from Raspberry Pi 2, I thought I had a major Wi-Fi problem in that I would set it all up and it would all look right, and then when I disconnected the monitor and the keyboard and tried to run it headless, I couldn't log into it, and I thought I had a major Wi-Fi problem. It turns out what I had was a Wi-Fi power management problem, that the Raspberry Pi 3 is by default with Jesse, after about 1 minute of inactivity, turns off Wi-Fi to save power. The problem is if you don't have a monitor and keyboard attached, then you can't kind of wake it up. There's just no way to log in because the Wi-Fi is off. So I found this page on raspberrypi.stackexchange.com, and apparently there's a couple of different ways to try to turn off Wi-Fi power management. I only tried this one, and it seems to work to me. So we're going to take that line and add it to this file, and hopefully all of our problems are going to go away. So I'm going to copy this line right here, and then I'm in my VNC viewer. So part of how I know that this was the problem is it takes about 30 seconds for my Raspberry Pi 3 to boot up running Jesse. So if I start pinging the Raspberry Pi, again, I have to know the Wi-Fi IP address based on my home router information. But if I start pinging this IP address about 15 to 20 seconds after I plug it in, the first 5 or 10 pings don't work, and then it connects, and then it stays active as long as it keeps doing something every minute or so. And so I ping it, and then I log into VNC, and now the Wi-Fi stays up. So if I come in here and I'd say CD to etc, etc is where a lot of the configuration files are kept, and I'm going into the network folder within there, and I'm going to do a sudo nano interfaces. And so this is the default stuff that came when I installed Jesse. And so I'm going to go right here, and I think I'm going to do it even before. I'm assuming I can just right click and paste. I cannot. So copying and pasting over VNC is not yet working on my computer. So I think I'm just going to exit. And do this over SSH instead, where I know copying and pasting works. So sorry, that part of the video will be slightly annoying. So come in here and do a cd/etc/network, and then sudo nano interfaces, and then come down to that same line, and I am going to paste right there. And I don't know if the indentation matters in these kind of files, but the example I found had 4 indentations, 4 spaces. So yeah, I think that that's going to work, and it will not turn itself off. And now I am going to save my changes and write the file to the name interfaces. I'm going to come back over to VNC and reboot it. And then part of my test will be if I just wait a couple of minutes after I boot it up, did it in fact work? So as part of the final verification, I did in fact wait several minutes, or reboot my Raspberry Pi, wait several minutes, and I can verify that if I, for example, ping it, it is still awake and listening. I can SSH into it, and that works. And I can, in fact, VNC in as well. If I remember all the passwords. So everything's working. It's been several minutes since I turned the Raspberry Pi on, and it now does all of the basic things that I expect a Raspberry Pi to do when running in a headless configuration. Attaches to my home network. I can ping it. I can SSH in. I can VNC in. So I would now consider this ready to go. I need to fix that VNC copy and paste problem, but other than that, this is more or less a working Raspberry Pi. Thanks.